When it boils down to an open world game, to me, as I mentioned, The Witcher 3 is the best example of a game that does it right. It's a game that has
I'm reading a temperature decrease.
A massive amount of things to do in that game, and none of them are obvious. None of them are obviously the thing you need to do.
Temperatures are within acceptable parameters.
And in fact, oh my gosh, Sam, you speak way too much, homie. I need you to shut up. There are so many things in this game that just feel like they're placed there to be placed there as filler content. Whereas in The Witcher, it doesn't feel like it's placed there. It just feels like it is there. As in it doesn't feel hand placed in the world. It feels like it exists in the world. These missions that you find in The Witcher are missions that you find within the world because they are a part of the world, not because they were placed in the world. I think that's the big distinguishing factor here between these two games.
You're the alien who saved the Moshai.
How many cat did you kill? I hope they screamed.
Don't know, wasn't counting.
Wow, that many? Hey, Kolf, this alien's my hero.
All right, that's enough. I know they call you Pathfinder. What do you need from us?
Look, I'm told you're Gloryseekers.
Your priestess, Roshwar Lin, told me about you. I was just curious.
Roshwar Lin is a blind old woman. She cowers with her blessings while the Ket consume everything.
She said you were throwing away your lives.
Nothing is thrown away. It's not suicide. We train as hard as anyone in the Resistance. But when you don't fear dying, that's when there's everything to gain and nothing to lose.
I can't wait for my turn. But all our blood still runs too hot. Tej is our hope now.
Tej is going to take down a Ket station.
That's a bad idea.
We should hear the news soon.
It's such a bad idea.
You want to hear that your friend's dead? That's kind of screwed up.
We don't want it. We accept it. Just because you don't understand doesn't mean it's wrong.
So where's this Ket station?
You shouldn't interfere, Pathfinder.
It's okay, Venge. As long as Ket die, it doesn't matter who's killing them. Here's the nav point. It was interesting meeting you, Pathfinder.
Sure, same could be said.
Be bright for you.
Okay. Anyways, like this is. I mean, it's perfect. It couldn't have been any better. This couldn't have been any better to prove my point. This mission feels like it should be something that is so close to fleshing out the world, fleshing out the Ingarans and stuff, and it's a cool premise. Right? You have these aliens that essentially are doing similar things to.
So Cora, I know, all right. I shouldn't have put my faith in Sarissa. I should have remembered she's just as fallible as me, but I didn't. Happy now? I'll be happier when you've shot something. You and me both.
I mean, she's about to. It feels like the classic like war pilot story. You know, the war pilots are like the hot shots. They just want to get out there and they want to get stuff done. Except it's a twist on it. You know, they want to die for it. It is a cool premise.
Can you imagine the heating bills if we settled here?
It's just
Approaching the Gloryseeker nav point. The Ket station is close.
It doesn't feel well done because it feels like it's been placed in the world for you to find and not like it's just a part of the world.
I can't do this. Taking this station is impossible.
Are you Tej?
Whoa! Didn't see you there. Yeah. I'm Tej. How did you find me? Wait. Kolf and the others, right? Stars. Don't tell them you found me like this. I wasn't expecting all this security, and the longer I sit here, the more I doubt everything.
I see.
I thought the whole point was you were supposed to die doing this.
People always misunderstand. We don't waste our lives. I could die here, but it wouldn't be a glorious death. It would be sad and stupid and lonely.
Yes, it would.
See, the more I think, the worse the thoughts get.
I've got some experience with Ket. I can help with this, if that would help.
Would you? I think with all of us, we might actually take down this station. Live or die. I wouldn't leave here a failure.
He just run around me? That was weird. All right, let's do this. By the way, as a person who has dabbled in game design and is not, I don't consider myself a game designer, but I do know for a fair amount. I can tell you it's really hard to make it seem like a thing in the world is not placed there and exists there instead. And it took CD Projekt Red a long time to make The Witcher 3 feel that way. And unfortunately, I think with the way that you think about Dragon Age Inquisition and even Mass Effect Andromeda is that it's essentially getting off on the wrong foot from the beginning. No, that's not what I wanted to do. No, just follow me, dummies. Okay. Yeet. Shoot some of these, do some of this. I see the doggies. I need to get the heck out. Thankfully, I have a teleport and not the dash. I don't know what I'm ever going to do if I go back to Vanguard. Don't get me wrong, I like Vanguard, but the teleport is really nice. Okay, let's see if we can get him to wind up at me and shoot me again. Perfect. How did that miss? Okay, that one got me. Get away from that. Hey, dummies, can you get in there and shoot some people, please? I suppose that works. Okay, can I... Nope, didn't lob that right. Okay, that should be all of them. No loot out here? No, it does not look like it. Give me that ammo. I think they're all dead. Maybe not, because it's still telling me to help him fight the cat. So let me loot this stuff. It's just it's rather interesting because I think I don't think Andromeda is I'm gonna call it a failure, but it definitely did not live up to the expectations set out by both the fans and the designers, I think. And you know, that stems a little bit from the direction that was set with Dragon Age Inquisition, which, by the way, is it's hard to turn a train that is moving that quickly. Hey, talk to me, homie. Jeez.
Still alive. And honestly, I'm glad. Living and learning is a good way to grow stronger too.
I mean, look at this.
And I've never met anyone who had a blessed rebirth.
It's ridiculous.
And what if it's not real? Stars. If my friends heard this talk, they'd turn their backs. Venture especially. I'm almost afraid to go back.
I can't tell you what to do, but maybe Roshwar Lin can help.
I always liked Roshwar. And you're right, she'll know how to handle my friends. Whether it means we talk to them or I stop listening to them. We grew up together.
Sometimes you grow apart.
Yes. Maybe. Thanks, Pathfinder. At least we kicked those cats on their behinds, right?
Sure. Yeah, it's with a...
I'm reading a temperature decrease.
With a ship moving as quickly as it does, and a big ship too, it's really hard to turn. And it is an analogy that is used within game design a lot because it is a very apt analogy. You know, if you set your path down a direction for development, you're essentially setting out a lot of different systems and things that need to be done, and the production and the producers are there to make sure that those things get done. The designers are there to make sure, the designers and coders and the rest of the team essentially is there to make sure that they get done properly. And obviously things change throughout development as they can mess with things and go, oh, this part isn't feeling right.
The remnant took over. Let's check it out.
No, let's not. You look at, shooting in games is really hard to get right. That thing is kind of honed in. It's not just something that you immediately get. So there is a lot of iteration, but...
So what makes you tick, Cora?
I'm going to stop them for a second and click on this.
Oh, you're no fun. No, getting yammered at isn't fun. Yammer back then. Raise your pulse rate. Something. I'll just remain at the ready if you don't mind. Sorry. Oh, I dozed off for a minute.
Are you making fun of me for yammering? My point is, like, you know, they set out their design philosophy for these two games, Andromeda and Dragon Age Inquisition, long before they were made, and they learned certain things from Inquisition that they implemented in Andromeda, but ultimately the design was flawed. It was an open world game that wasn't really going to feel like an open world, and I think that's where they went wrong.
This looks like a research outpost.
And there's a lot to be said, by the way, about the potential of Anthem, which is their new game, being awful. It might be so bad, and it might be filled with... Why is my shot arcing? Did you see that? I'm trying to blow up the explosive thing. My shot was arcing around. Okay, let's shoot that one. Or not. Not sure that works. I think PB actually is the one who did it. Hey, you.
Watch the grenade!
What grenade? That makes me worried. Okay, you know what? Let's get crazy here. There's a lot of these little dudes. Let's switch weapons real quick. That's not what I wanted to do. I want one more weapon, please. Thank you. That'll do for now. This. I'm kind of just using my charge to kill everything because this is little dudes. Where did... Hey, you. Did they actually hit him? That's surprising. Oh, hi there. Shot him in the butt. Killed him. Killed him by shooting him in the butt. Okay, well. I don't think that worked like I wanted it to. Where did he go? Oh, he's over here. He went to the left. Hello? Hello? Mr. Oh. I think he's dead. Good job, baby. Good job. Oh, come on, Cora. You messed up my shot. Dang it, Mom. You embarrassed me in front of my friends. I think Anthem is going to suffer from many different issues, but ultimately, I think it's far out in development enough that it's going to learn from a lot of issues. You know, you look at Star Wars Battlefront 2, for example. It's going to learn from those problems with loot boxes. You're not going to... I think they're going to do everything they can to avoid loot boxes. Even though I feel like that's the biggest temptation for them, is to put loot boxes in the game. And I even feel like they were probably...
Life support is back online.
Designing that game with that concept in mind. But when you look at it, you look at the gaming... landscape over the past year, I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to learn from that.
There's a lot of organic material here. Angara, Ket, something else.
Scans could tell us more, Pathfinder.
I plan on scanning. The point is that, honestly, I think that they may have gotten on the wrong track early on with Anthem, and it scares me. And I think everyone should have massive reservations about that game. Even though I think that BioWare, especially under the new lead of Casey Hudson, rather, sorry. I'm saying another Corey. Casey Hudson, which was the Mass Effect lead for the first 3 games. If he is working on Anthem, and he is heading BioWare now, I think he will right that ship and put it in the right direction. But you gotta understand, like, Anthem started probably a couple of years ago. I don't know. I just don't know. I would assume that it's not going to be anything that we wanted it to be, and that's unfortunate. Audio recording.
There is an audio log saved on this device, Pathfinder.
Ket, let's get a translation, Sam.
Processing.
The Angara genetic code that expresses this projection of a bioelectric field has been isolated. The process to integrate this into our own genome is ongoing. Early success is documented. Once complete, adaptation should be distributed to all ascendant in Helios. Ability may also prove useful as part of base soldier configurations. All research transmitted to the Empire.
Exaltation is not just about making more cat. It's an exchange.
So what's an original cat like? How much have they stolen?
There's bound to be more here. Let's keep moving.
Interesting. There's more data pad there too to listen to, I believe. Oh, no, that was just the one recording. Exaltation Phase Shu. With the Angaran genome unraveled, we have begun the process of isolating the most valuable trait to augment the Ket, bioelectrical discharge. Isolated and reproduced, we have commenced the distribution of this ability amongst ascendants. Conversion of light to energy, tricky. Much more integrated in Angaran physiology, our current focus. Note, Angaran genetics complex but elegant, lacking obsolete residual traits. Commonly found in evolved species, similar to Ket in certain ways. And then finally, discovered species human. Initial observation, soft skin, no natural armor or protection. Without technology, can only operate within a narrow range of environmental conditions, genetically diverse, renowned for tenacity and adaptation. I see.
Genetic information logged.
I feel like there's also just going to be a massive amount of...
Pathfinder, these samples all contain the same genetic sequence. At first, it appears to be a familial connection, but the genome shows signs of modification. Evidence suggests the sequence was drawn from a single individual and incorporated into other cat.
The Archon.
Exaltation.
So, does the Archon control the cat because they see him as a progenitor? Or does his rank give him the privilege to propagate his genes like this?
A cultural question beyond my purview.
In any case, the stuff we found should be of great interest to the science team back on the Nexus.
Look, I'm going to have to go back to the Nexus like I already thought. I think there's going to be a huge amount of discussion on Anthem up to and after release, and I'll probably be involved in all of that if I'm honest. Discovered species, Solarian, initial observations. By the way, I hope the game is great because it looks awesome. Short-lived, fragile, no natural armor or protection, high metabolism, evidence of exceptional brain function. And then Turian, carapace, metallic in nature, possibly protective. Dextroprotein-based synthesis, agile. Height and skeletal structure allow for increased reach and flexibility.
Another audio log detected.
Let's hear it.
Transmissions unacknowledged by Homeworld. Possible breakdown in connection and information mishandled. Investigation ongoing. Logs to be updated shortly.
Things getting lost in the post. A universal problem.
I wonder if we can find the follow-up logs.
I'm trying. Discovered species Asari. Extremely long-lived. Natural ability to create gravitational fields of some variety not fully understood. Monogendered. Precise method of reproduction not fully understood. Important. Rumored to be able to take in genetic traits of other species to improve theirs. Of great interest to Primus. Interesting. Krogan. Long-lived. Large. Muscled. Hardy. Resistance to large range of environmental conditions. Superfluous organs. Some evidence of chromosomal damage not fully understood. Reiteration. Large. Interesting.
All transmissions appear to have failed. Some of the team has suggested that this research is being prevented from leaving Helix. Troubling implications. Set aside for now. Taking steps to verify that primary communications are still active.
I'm picking up the nav point for another Ket station. Probably their primary communications.
If we take out that comm station, does that mean the Ket can't call home?
One would hope. It's interesting also seeing the Ket's observations on the species from the Milky Way, because we've seen these species in the games. We kind of already understand this, but it's kind of cool to see a species that isn't familiar with them try and express their thoughts on them. It's cool. It's unique. It's not something I would have thought to do, I don't think, if I were writing this game, but it is a cool thing to explore. I kind of wish maybe it was a little bit more of it.